Welcome to Dare Be Authentic podcast. I'm your host, Mari Mitchell, life coach, relationship coach, and author, and I'm broadcasting from Southern California to bring you inspiration and encouragement for living your best life. Today, I have a very special guest, Rob Wilson. He's going to be talking about sovereign liberation. Rob is the founder of Cowboy Wisdom Hypoacuity, which is hypnotherapy that quiets a thinking memory mind. He's also author of several books, including My Wisdom Breeds. Welcome to the show, Rob. How are you doing today?
Well, thank you for having me. It's my honor and privilege. I'm I'm at inner peace and feeling quiet, but it feels good.
That's awesome. Inner peace is always a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I know that I searched for it so many years, only to find that it was inside of me. And so I was looking for it everywhere outside of me, but it was right inside of me all along. And I'm sure you found that as well, Rob.
Just to expand on what you said there, I discovered the outside world is innocent of everything I ever blamed it.
Ooh.
Everything is inside me. And once I opened up to that, I was on my way to exercise one day up in the desert, go for a walk, and on my way, that little premonition voice says, the world's innocent. I make it guilty with my viewpoints, opinions, beliefs. And see, everybody talks about beliefs, but beliefs are actually a boundary and a limitation.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to have you got to listen for the frequencies of sovereignty.
Mm, good. Great segue into what we're going to talk about today. So, you said to me the other day that liberation is about pathways, not about solutions. So, let's talk about that for a minute.
Solutions are embedded representation in the subconscious mind, and we have this habit of thinking, if I find a solution, it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
A solution is just, it's like going on a 30,000 mile hike. That's just the first stopping point. The path continues. And if you go from solutions and answers to pathways and outcomes, you're never stuck in the same place. And that's why the world's stuck in trying to find a solution
Mm-hmm.
rather than follow a pathway of perspicuity, prosperity, and poise. You just kind of keep moving forward in it. But a solution, you're stopped and you're all proud of yourself. But all that solution does is open up another set of challenges coming your way.
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Wow.
Yeah.
So, you also talk about embracing authentic freedom through sovereign liberation. What do you mean by that?
Authentic. What makes it authentic is in here. But authentic makes it's kind of like it's a nowography, but authentic makes it yours. You're not trying to see something I really discovered in my own on my little voyage here is everybody's always looking for the program or something to take them forward. Well, a program just getting you programmed in their beliefs. But when you do the authentic stuff, it comes from here. And you do it through listening to your own intuition, imagination, innovation,
Mm-hmm.
um, and all that. And you're not looking for outside sources to validate what you're doing.
Okay.
See, when you first get in, I first got in there, I was always looking for somebody to validate my life going forward.
Right.
And all that did is kept me stuck in the muck of myself.
Mm.
And see, that's one thing I've really discovered about self-help, personal growth, self-improvement is it 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 it, it massages the challenge, but keeps you a servant to your past. And it never allows you a pathway out. And see, that's something why I use hypnoacuity. Therapy never gives you the pathway out.
Right.
It keeps talking about, and you listen to all them, the guy, they never talk about being liberated right where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And once you become liberated right where you're at, you start listening to your daily life and the people you meet, you start rising out of it.
Right. That's great. Now, as you're saying that, Rob, I'm thinking that that takes a lot of listening on your part and a lot of awareness, how do you suggest that a person in this world that we live now really begin to listen to themselves? Because there's a lot of noise out there.
Here's the thing about listening for what expands you in your own desired life, dreams, and life. The rest of it is all just flunky gunk.
Mm-hmm.
But listening, but it's really having an inner outline and an inner intention on what you want in life. And you got to get really honest with you. And once you open up to just listening and quit trying to be the center of attention, like you know everything, it's just kind of a natural feeling. And then when you start honoring what you're listening for and you hearken the wisdom out of it and not the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
you hearken the wisdom, insight, and clarity, and understand your free flowing energy. And that's inspiration, imagination, innovation, intuition, and spirit poise. And see, that's one thing about spirit. When somebody says think and know, and they use the word spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that's hooky dook. You can't. Spirit is a flowing energy.
Right.
And we're flowing energy because we're oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen, I believe. Well, we're just four energies. And then we're all made up. But when you listen for a flowing energy, you're not trying to know anything. And a lot of people, when they say think and know,
Mm-hmm.
everything that comes after that is disallowed because it isn't there.
Okay.
But when I listen, feel, and express, see what makes you feel better. I think and know this, I feel, listen, and express.
Definitely feel, listen, and express. Because
And you want to express the images of your inspiration. You want to take motivation, all that out, and you want to use inspiration. Inspiration dissolves desperation.
I love it.
And that's what I did. And that's the way. And when you start listening for what expands you or energizes you or rises you out, you don't get caught up in all the noise of nothingness that comes from the outside world. And something else I did, I let go of mindfulness. I don't have mindfulness. I have scenarios of my dreams or scenarios of where I want to go. See, with scenarios, I can smell them, color them, paint them, do whatever I want. But when it comes to like mindset, you become locked and blocked in mindset.
Mm.
But if you do the scenarios, you move forward and you have a forthright fortitude to walk straight into the fire and put it out.
So scenarios as in visualization?
All of it.
Okay.
See, this is the thing. It's all individualized. And see, here's the thing. You go to a seminar and you try to know everything they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And all you're really learning is their limitations, viewpoints, and beliefs.
Right.
And anybody's beliefs has limitations. But most of all, we're living their limitations. And people don't realize it. And one thing sovereign liberation does, it rises you out of the programming. Because the whole world is programmed from our ancestors' programming and a third world enslaving mindset that we got from business schools in our life. And in the world, if you really get down to it and look at it real close, Maury,
Mm-hmm.
we still live the same life as our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
We may have technology, more medicine, more this, but when it's people to people and people skills, we're stuck in our ancestors' way. Yeah. And once you open up to that, you can really see, I see it myself. Then I get to make fun of myself. And if you can make fun of yourself and laugh, you can bust through anything.
I agree with that. Humor is a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful tool that we can use to move forward. That's awesome. Yes. Okay, so you said something earlier that got stuck on me, and you said we're looking for wisdom, not for knowledge. And so could you explain the difference between the two?
Wisdom comes from experience, from getting your hands dirty experience. Knowledge comes from a book.
Ooh.
See, the world's running on knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And before we had all this education, the world ran on wisdom.
Okay.
And see, wisdom is you took the knowledge, took it to the world, got your hands dirty, then it becomes wisdom. Basically, you screw up to get wisdom.
That's right. You learn from your mistakes. Wow.
See, I've never made a mistake. I've had some hellacious eye-opening experiences, though. So if you take the word mistake, there's never been a mistake. They're just experiences that awaken us. And see, everybody says, practice this, practice that. Poof on that. I experience this for the wisdom.
Mm.
And see, that's the thing. We're running on knowledge and inexperience in this world.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's just like, uh, the guy that started Apple. He said, when they first started Apple, he says, we went for the pedigree. If they could interview and they had good grades and they looked good, oh man, we hired them right away. 3 years later, they didn't even interview them people. They went to find people within the company that hated management or didn't want to be managers. They didn't want to do this. All they wanted to do is sit in their little cubicle and do what they do. And they says, that ain't happening no more. So they looked for people that didn't want to be managers.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually looked for people that struggled a little bit, because struggle equals wisdom.
Right.
And they got to the wise people, and usually the ones with the pedigree are just kind of egotistical, arrogant, and know-it-all ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
But these people, they didn't know how to do it in the books, but they knew how to do it in the field.
Right.
And that's what they did. And that's the way it is in life. We've been trying to stay inside the books, and well, that's why the world is waiting for people with wisdom to come up and show them the better way. And this irritates people, but I say it all the time. The blue collar is going to have to lead the white collar out of this situation, because they got the knowledge to get us into it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the wisdom to bring us out.
Ooh, I love that. That's fantastic.
And that's the thing. It's like a business thinks the management does it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
It's the wisdom of the workforce moves the country forward. And we're so predicated on education. I don't know if anybody listens to him, but his name is Charlie Kirk.
Uh-huh.
If you ever get a chance, listen to Charlie. He's fun, but he's also very entertaining. It's called autodidact, self-educated.
Okay.
I call it sovereign enlightened. If you take the word self out of your life and use the word sovereign, you'd be surprised how it lets you move forward. And see, that's like authentic or individualized, individualist. That gives it to you. Self, what is self? That's just something we learned in school. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. You take the words you learned in school and throw them in the garbage. Because every word you use has a memory with it.
Right.
That's why sovereign liberation, politically incorrect inspiration dissolves politically correct perfection programming. But see, when you say sovereign liberation, what do you feel?
It's so new and it's so open. It just feels open and that anything is possible.
Yeah. And politically incorrect inspiration gives you a little bit of the sassy task.
Mm.
And then it's autonomous expansion. It's not attached to anything. Personal growth has a limitation to it. And these are my words. Develop your own vocabulary. I have a liberating lingo, and I'm going to be very upfront here. I don't use the words think, know, learn, knowledge, or thoughts. inspiration for thinking,
Mm-hmm.
understand for knowing, comprehend for learning,
Okay.
wisdom for knowledge, revelations for thoughts.
Wow.
And the difference in them words is they all do the same thing, but with inspiration, uh, understand, comprehend, wisdom, and revelations, your subconscious mind has no memory and no representations. The rest of them, it has representations. To rise your life out of your past, you use words that the subconscious mind is curious about
Mm-hmm.
rather than looking for representations.
Okay.
See, think, know, mindset. Oh, the subconscious mind knows right where to go. It's already got you mad before you start. Or, are apprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
But see, with inspiration, there's no feelings involved. You get to push it all forward. And that's why it's a free flowing energy of intuition, imagination. That is your natural wisdom. Everything we think and know is manufactured from outside sources.
So true.
And see, the world lives on manufactured knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And see, but when we was a young country coming across, this is my favorite thing, coming across from St. Louis, they had, can you imagine coming across in the Rocky Mountains with just a covered wagon? Oh, it'd be fun, but God, it'd be work.
It's hard. Yeah, it was hard.
And they had to rig up pulleys and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and everything was different. Everything was now. It's a
Yeah.
new now. It's really all we ever experience is a new now. And but we like everything we're doing in the world right now is all come from yesterday and secondhand information.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this deal where we think business and education is going to take us in somewhere. Business and education is going to take us to where we're at.
Right where we are. Yes.
It's wisdom and it's people's own intuition, imagination, innovation, and inspirations that'll rise us. And see, something we've all been taught, we all stay inside the book learning. You got every person in the world, Mari, has a unique talent
Yes.
that's outside the mainstream drain of society. And if you look at the world, I've been on this earth since 1955, and I really sat down and had a reflection on this. We're the same today as we was in 1960. We just got modern conveniences to do it. And one thing we lack today, to me, we don't have the innovative ingenuity to rise out of this because everybody's got to have a book in front of them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're hooked on books rather than in the flow of the go of our galvanized optimism.
Yeah. It's interesting because you were talking about imagination and innovation and all those words. All I can think of is a little child. I mean, what an imagination and their little brains. I have a granddaughter who just turned 1, and you should see this one go. And the way she figures things out and knows what to do. She just follows her instinct. It's amazing. But then
Yeah,
we got to school and they didn't allow us to do that. You had to follow the rules. You had to be a little robot. At least I did, like everyone else is. Sit the same way, talk the same way, stand up the same way. And they kind of like beat that out of us for a while.
and answer the questions exactly the way the teacher wanted them.
Right.
Education has stole the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
now education is just medicated muck.
Mm-hmm.
And see, something is, and you even start going to some of these seminars and stuff. If you don't fall into the change, heal, create, transformation, click, and the think and know of it, you don't fit in.
Right.
And you talk to college educated people, because I don't punctuate my writings.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't punctuated since 2011. I even hate using punctuation now that I understand it. even in business.
Right.
But when you write unpunctuated, you're in the flow of it. You're not worried this comma's got to go here, period. What is this person going to think? It's more like if they don't like it, I love them, they can go their way.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit listening to self help in 2009 because I wasn't getting anything from it.
Right.
And I'm not going to be a robot. And a lot of this self help personal growth is robotic.
Yes, absolutely.
And another thing, Mara, you can tell me, and if you say something else is when I listen to all these business gurus and they say business, business, business,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like they got a microphone inside that file cabinet just repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, business is something you learned in school.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is something you learn out here.
Right.
And, something I understand, Mari, is if you listen to all the business gurus, none of them sound different to me.
Mm-hmm.
And all they want, and something I've discovered is when somebody's talking only about business,
Mm-hmm.
there's something being left out. And that's they're in here.
Right.
And that's where everything has got to come. Mine comes from right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because my subconscious mind is in my body.
Mm. Yeah, and you can tell when it comes from there.
Yeah.
And I can tell when it doesn't. So I have that discernment, which is a blessing and sometimes a curse, I guess, but it's a blessing. And yeah, I can tell when someone's not being authentic, and it bothers me. But
Well, and then once you start seeing through the fallacies of it, you hardly want to listen to it.
exactly, exactly.
And I went to a seminar here about 3 weeks ago, and now I get one email a day. They want me to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
They're more like, to me, they're more like piranhas.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And something else, people in this world today have never been taught to trust themselves.
Ooh, that's so true, Rob. They've been taught the opposite.
Yes.
To
And
not,
see, that's why
yes.
I don't listen to anybody. I like a lot of stuff, but once I go to get to the seminar and I'm done, I don't want to hear from them
Mm-hmm.
because I got what I wanted.
Right.
But you start listening to it, it's all paint by numbers. And not one of them say about liberation and the path. It's all about the solution.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in solutions since I've been alive, and now we're in the pollution of the solutions.
That's really eye-opening.
However, people are waking up, and Mari, people have to understand they have the liberating, unique talents
Mm-hmm.
of their intuition, imagination, innovation, inspiration, and their trailblazing talents to move out of this. People are going to lead us out. Education is not.
Right. I agree. I fully agree. And more people are waking up, more people are listening to their intuition. I know that.
Yeah.
More people are stepping into their life path with where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
It takes a lot of courage to have the first breakthrough or the first jailbreak. Once you experience the first jailbreak, you're gone. You're the outlaw of society.
I like that. You're not going back there. It's true. I remember when I experienced it. It's true. I'm like, I'm not going back there.
But they get more. This is rude, and I shouldn't say this, but they're more fun to make up fun of now.
Oh. Well, you may have a career in a comedy act as well.
That's what it's all about. If you can get people to laugh, you can get them to expand.
Mm-hmm.
And something else I've really noticed, Mari, is people are really stuck in following. But that's a subconscious thing because we always follow prestige.
Mm.
And if you think this is prestige, you're going to follow it. But it's not. Our subconscious mind likes following prestige.
Okay.
Well, when you have more prestige, you're going to irritate the prestigious because, I've got my own vocabulary. It's a liberating lingo. And once I started rising out of using different words in society, I become liberated and free.
That's wonderful. I love that.
That's my unpunctuated writings to me are unique because either it isn't for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but it does allow people the liberating freedom to move forward because life is a liberating invitation, fostering emancipating experiences. But we try to that's the thing, we're trying to use yesterday's knowledge for today's challenges. That's why we're where we're at.
And it doesn't work. That's right. It's got to be new constantly,
Now new.
evolving, growing, etc. Awesome. So we're just about out of time. I wanted to ask you, what is one last thing you'd like to say to a listener that's really on your heart today, Rob?
What I want to tell every listener is trust your own abilities.
Oh, I love that.
You got the acumen, ability, agility, and audacity. Don't stop following the self-help crowd because they're just going to take you down the path of limitation.
Mm-hmm.
But you have and develop a vocabulary that don't keep talking about your past experiences. Like change, heal, create, transformation, forgiveness. You're always reliving that event.
Okay.
And that's what personal growth, self-help. If I can keep you reliving the event, you think I'm doing good once I break through. But when you start rising, sovereign liberation rises you out of that, and you get to start experiencing life with your own talents.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's a huge difference. I love that. Trust your own abilities. We weren't taught to trust, so it's time for us to trust ourselves. And it's time for people to wake up and trust who they are because we are powerful beings. That's who we truly are. But we're told just the opposite, that we have no power.
Yes.
And so once we all step into our power, it's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful day. Well, thanks so much for being here with me, Rob. As usual, it is such a pleasure having you. And have a great rest of your day. And to the listener, make sure that you spread this. This will be available on Spreaker indefinitely. Get the message and spread the message. And
there's some free downloads I give you.
Downloads. Okay. Yeah, you can go right on the link and get those. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for listening today to Be Authentic Radio. And bye for now. Catch us next time.